what's going on, guys? This is episode 3 of Pathological Hustler. I've been getting a lot of messages in my DMs about, what to talk about next with topics, and everybody says, "Hey, man, do one on day trading, do one on options trading. We need to know how this is going. It's complicated to us." So I got a very special guest speaker today, but goes by the name of Lala. She's been killing things in her Discord, been putting out plays every single day. The web seminars has been going crazy. Been making a lot of returns. Lala, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, man. I appreciate you for coming out today.
No problem. Thank you for the invite.
Hey, anytime. So just jumping right into it, how did you get into day trading?
Okay, so great story. There was this dude I was talking to when he was kind of, I guess, like before his time as far as like my peers went, as like trying to hustle and do different things that were out of the ordinary. And he had mentioned to me about the stock market. And of course, for a lot of people back then, like I didn't start until 2018. Prior to that, stocks were a lot more complicated and harder to even get into. Like it was really more of a thing that only rich white people could do. Yeah. Because there wasn't really a platform for everybody else who didn't have millions of dollars to fucking do it. So, I mean, he's mentioned it and I just kind of like brushed it off like, fuck, like I know what the stock market is and I know, rich people make money, but I didn't really, like it didn't marinate. I didn't really, whatever. So then probably like, this was like in 2017 actually. So then probably like at the beginning of 2018, I was training another nurse at my 9-to-5 job. And
so you're a nurse by trade?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, my 9-to-5, I'm a nurse.
Okay.
So, and I was training one of the new nurses, and one day I looked over at her phone and I seen just a lot of shit she was doing, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she was like, "Trading stocks," and I was like, "For real?" And she was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Okay." So then it kind of triggered my interest again because I was like, because she's just sitting here doing it on her phone type shit. So then I kind of like eventually started asking her a little bit more questions like, how does it work? What is this? And like, how can you get started type stuff? And she was like, I have a group I'm in, I deposit this much amount of money, kind of just like basic stuff. And so it, I continued to, be interesting to me. So then a little bit later, probably like around May of 2018, I actually sat down and started trying to get into it actually. So probably like a year after somebody even tried to put me on it, I didn't start doing it. So then that's when I sat down and I was like, okay, downloaded the Robinhood app because that's when Robinhood really was new. And it's
so user friendly.
Exactly. And it simplifies a lot of things. It makes it easier for people to learn how to trade. So I literally sat probably on YouTube and ebooks and audio shits for like 6 months. Yeah. And maybe put like $25 in the account. Yeah. Just like kind of see like what the hell, what is
I think
doing.
A lot of people are like real skeptical when it comes to like putting their money out there.
Right.
Like when you tell them about trading, like option trading, you're like, you might lose it if you don't make no money by, your expiration date. They're like, no, I don't want to do that.
So it's like, the risk factor is something you have to warn people about initially because it's, to me, high probability gambling. There's so much stuff that is presented to you that gives you a better chance to determine like which direction stuff is going to go. It's like with blackjack or roulette and stuff, there's a lot more chance, a lot more you have to be lucky type of situation. But it's like if you know how to read a chart, you know what's about to happen.
So instead of like so take some of the edge off of it. So reading the charts is like one way of like making a more educated decision on what you're about to trade.
Better educated guess.
Okay, better educated guess. So it's like so I'm gonna give you an example for the other day. So the other day I had invested in the Shopify. Right, I did a put on Shopify, and for y'all that don't know what a put is and a call is, so a call is basically you're just saying that you predict the stock is going to go up in time. A put, you're predicting that the stock is going to go down. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I really like high vitality stocks. I like Shopify, like I like the movers. I like Nvidia, Tesla. So I saw Shopify go up like $99 in a day. And I was like, man, they got to be coming down. Like, you know what I'm saying? RSI's through the roof. I was like, I did a put on it, and the next day it went up another $40, and then it went up $30. I was like, man, this thing has no ceiling right now. Like, so when it comes to like stocks like that, what is the best plan of execution when you're dealing with stocks that move? That stocks you can't really predict. There are some stocks that you can't predict with charts.
So the thing is that the space that we're in right now is we moved from a lot more institutional buying to a lot more retail traders, which is the average everyday people like you and me, instead of the millionaires and the billionaires and the people with hedge funds and stuff. So there's a lot more gas and a lot more money coming from the regular people now. So there's more influence that we have on the market. That's when you see a lot of pumping, and then you see pumping and pumping, but then it dumps. Technically, you could consider some of these pump and dumps, but because like even if you take into account like GameStop, fucking AMC, these companies were considered dead companies. Normally on Wall Street, niggas not touching that. They're not touching that shit. But for the meme stock people, they were like, fuck that shit. I don't care if this shit has no value. I like the company. So
I
they're
just
like,
make some money.
Finna put $50,000 in here. Like, what? Excuse me? So before like this little, what was it? COVID. So before 2020,
because I didn't start trading to the pandemic.
Right. A lot of people didn't. I believe the statistics show that there was like an increase about like 60% of the money that was currently the new money that's being traded in the stock market came from the people started trading in the pandemic.
Because I remember like during the pandemic, like when everybody was out of job and everybody was trying to figure out what to do next, and we was all relying on like unemployment. I had one of my friends, Justin, called me, and he was like, man, I just made $6,000 today. I was like, how? Like you know what I'm saying? What you doing? Like, are you a scammer? He was like, no, man, it's legit, man. I've been day trading. Yeah, Forex. I still to this day, I hate them Forex traders. I don't know.
So I've literally done everything.
Yeah.
So I know kind of like where everything is and like how everything's working. I just kind of picked which one I was better at. So is
Forex like a Ponzi scheme? Like, what is the thing with?
So
like,
the thing
Forex?
is that you have people who kind of came into the field and used it as such. Like OnlyFans wasn't initially for pornography and nudity. Yeah. It was initially supposed to be a site where everybody could come and charge for their content. It just so happened that the prostitutes, porn stars, whatever, they came in there and utilized it. Then they're kind of branding OnlyFans as the porn site. So then with those people them coming in and that happening, that kind of just inadvertently became what they were known for, because there was so many scammers like that just popped in there like that. But it gave them the ability to do that because there's a lot of people who don't trade. Basically what they're getting paid to do is get you into a group. Yeah. They're making money off of getting you into the group. They don't even know how to fucking trade. They're just getting you in there.
So let me ask you this. I clicked on your profile the other day. So do you have your tips on trading on OnlyFans? Do you use your OnlyFans as a platform of I never knew that you could do that. Like I thought OnlyFans was just straight adult content.
So when I heard about OnlyFans and I saw what it was, I went and looked at it and then saw it's like, okay, it's not necessarily a porn site. Like if you wanted to make your own reality TV show, you could do that shit. Yeah. You could skip a whole goddamn network, instead of paying a whole bunch of other people, put you on TV or do this and do that.
Be your own platform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Real simple. So it's like if you got art, you can get on there, do art. There's people get on there and cook. A lot of people, they add a little sexiness to the stuff just to get a little bit more sometimes. But there's a lot of people who aren't on there naked and stuff like that. So because I wanted the ability to, so with Discords it's a little more difficult because you have to really be in and you have to pay attention.
You got to be engaged.
You gotta active.
Yeah.
So it's like because I have so much other stuff going on outside of just this or teaching people, I wanted to have a way to at least make a space where people could come ask questions and I could help them give advice, also give like what I've done, what I'm doing, just a heads up, or a weekly watch list or daily watch list of stuff for people to watch who kind of already had an idea of trading. Okay. They know how to trade. They just maybe don't have time to sit and look for names that are about to pop or buzzing type stuff. So that's more for them. And then the Discord that we're a part of or that I promote is more so for people who need more teaching and need a lot more hands-on, because it's a community of a lot more people, experienced traders. You get a lot more education. You get the signals that tell you when to get in, when to get out.
So you have you got like a team, like you got a.
So the thing is that when I initially started, you know, you're trying to get into a good group, right?
Yeah.
And it was hard at first. I probably was in like 4 groups before I found the one that really helped me be successful.
Yeah.
And I didn't find that one until probably like the beginning of 2019.
See, I think that's what I'm struggling with right now, because I've learned that like nobody's giving out gems for free, like especially people who are really making money in this game.
Because the thing is that this is not easy to learn. Like
it's not.
You have to be invested in it. So, and it's hard to teach. It's like statistics. It's very intricate.
Yeah, I get frustrated. But like, some people be like, if Jack had 4 apples, I'm like, why is it this hard for you? Like,
yeah. So it's like, I need to know that you really are interested in doing this. So I need to know that you're willing to put money up to get the information that I have to give to you, because once you have this information, the money you can make is infinite.
Yeah, true.
So, and then at that, I'm not one of these people out here trying to charge $1,000 to teach you or nothing like that. I'm just trying to get something that is at least worth my time to speak to you, because I have a lot of other stuff to do, or that if I wasn't doing this, I would be making money doing something else. So it's like I at least would try to be like, let me make at least what I'm making if I wasn't going to work today.
So anybody who clicks on your page, they can also learn. You have like videos and webinars. Like, how does your platform usually work?
Like on my OnlyFans and stuff, I post like a whole of like a array of different things and information. So I offer the one-on-one mentorship on there, and then I just have the regular, if I see a news article and I'm like, okay, this makes sense, or something that I've seen someone else maybe bring to my attention and I do a little bit more digging and stuff, I'll post that type of stuff on there. But I also, let's see. Oh, dang, I forgot the question. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. We just picking each other's brains right now.
Oh.
So basically what I was asking you, I was like, as far as your platform goes, like if somebody was interested in learning how to trade and they wanted to know how to get in contact with you, what would be the best way to go about that?
Okay, so yeah, on Instagram normally is how people will find me or reach me, and then they'll find the links in my bio or whatever.
We'll go ahead and tell the people your Instagram name so they can go ahead and click that @ sign.
So it's To Be Honest. And no, my name is not Toby.
I thought it was Tobernist. I was like, what does that mean? Like,
what's wrong with you people?
I was like, Tobernist.
I've literally been in real life and people come up to me, they're like, Toby. And I'm like, what?
I swear I thought it was Tobernist.
To Be Honest without an H. Because it's to be on, like shit, you're on. Like,
got you. That makes sense.
But it's a playoff of being honest too, because I actually a lot of times get in trouble for being too honest.
Yeah, you put a lot of wild content out there,
Yes, I do. But that's me. And so it's like, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, then I'm not for you. And I'm okay with that. So, yeah, so it's TOBEONIST.
Yeah, so I had I was going through you because you post a lot of memes. You post like some wild stuff, but I saw you had posted a screenshot of I think, what was this stock called? BIIB.
Oh yeah.
What was that stock called? It was B. But I just seen that your return on it, like you marked out exactly like what you made is smart, but so people don't be asking.
So before I leave today, I want to put the reasoning for all of that out there, because if you go on the internet and you normally see all these numbers, you see this nigga made $14,000 here and
Yeah.
Me personally, I know a lot of hood niggas. I'm also from Houston.
Yeah.
And I know what looking like a lick looks like.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I never want to be in a situation where people are counting my pockets or can tell
smart.
how much money that I have. So you don't know if I have $50. You don't know if I have $1 million.
I mean, it's smart. That's how
so
you
for me, it's like I was always what I was taught from my mentor was that the percentage is what matters. It doesn't matter if you put $30 in there
And you got a
And then-
600%
and you got a
return.
600% return, even if that was only $90. If you had put four more contracts or shares or whatever in there, then the money of course would have been larger. But those percentages is what matters, because that ultimately determines kind of like how consistent and how. So yeah, basically.
I know what you're trying to say.
I don't know how to put that one in.
So that's what I want to ask you also. Well, I know the answer to this, but for people who are just tuned in and they're trying to get educated on the matter, so when you get into trade options, you have these contracts. What's the best way you can describe a contract to somebody that was brand new listening to the show?
So what I would describe a contract is well, first you would have to know what shares are.
Okay.
So shares are, you're owning a piece of the company, a share. With a contract, what you're doing is you get 100 shares, but you're borrowing them. So you're just trading them. You don't own anything.
So it's like you're leasing,
Right.
You're leasing the stock.
Exactly. But at the same time, it's just cheaper because Shopify is what, 300, 400?
1507.
Oh, Shopify. My bad. I'm thinking about Spotify. So yeah, Shopify is up there.
Yeah.
It's like, who's buying 100 shares of Spotify at $1,500?
Yeah.
So what a contract allows you to do is buy it for a lot less. So instead of me paying $1,500 for one share, now I can trade 100 shares for $200.
Got you.
Which is a lot more
economically feasible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's easier to do. But the thing is that options are the riskiest part of
risky. So I remember it
all
was
of this.
during the pandemic. Like I think I had like beginner's luck because I wasn't.
A lot of people had.
I wasn't
beginner's
using
luck.
charts when I first started off trading. I wasn't
They
using.
was just like,
I literally invested $800. I remember like it was nothing. I remember I invested $800 into Tesla on a 1 week contract. And Tesla, this was like when the split was on the way to the split. I think I had made
that
12
was the
grand.
luckiest time in a lot
I
of
made
niggas'
12
lives.
grand off 800. That's what really got me hooked into like day trading.
Once
now.
people see how much money you can make in seconds, minutes, days, and it's like, I don't
Why am I
even
working
make
my
this.
job? Like,
Exactly. So people then is like, oh, fuck this shit. And then it's like, okay, it becomes more real to them. But a lot of people don't always have the beginner's luck. So like for me, with options, I thought I understood how trading worked before I did it. And I was trading for a year before I got into options.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I was trading for like probably 3 to 4 months before I started options. And I had seen all the warnings and stuff like that. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, don't do that shit. Read about it first.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get trading. Cool. And so I just put my money in, and it was on a weekly contract, and it was on a Wednesday, and it was the Wednesday that Trump made his tweet about the China trade war.
Trump was messing up my pockets at one point. He
So-
just kept tweeting, messing me up.
So he made the market really volatile. But for some people, that market is easier for them to trade because the volatility, like how you're talking about Tesla and stuff like that, the volatility was in a whole bunch of stocks and not just the runners. So it was like you could get in a $20 stock and that whole run 100 instead of being in Tesla that's $700 and it's running to $2,500.
I think my biggest regret of
Not
2020,
buying more. Oh.
I want to say my biggest regret was it 2020 when GameStop went off. Somebody had put out that play for me, and I remember like at the time GameStop was at $6, and I want to say a contract on it was dirt cheap. I want to say one contract. I want to say it wasn't nothing but $50 or something just for one contract.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of that day, I had saw GameStop turn into a $140 stock, and I was like, I can't believe. And then I was like, okay, tomorrow it's gonna go down.
Plummet.
And then the next day was $400. I was like, bro, I'm talking about people that I had taught how to trade options. Was like, man, appreciate you, big bro. I made 40 grand today. I'm like, shit, can I get some of that? Like, like
exactly, like you made, cash at me.
Yeah, I'm like, some for giving you the game, but I think that was like one of my biggest regrets. So like with AMC, I really don't do too many meme stocks, but I said just in case AMC pull a GameStop, I'm gonna buy a contract with that. I still got shares with it, but I made probably, I think with that I had one contract. I made like 4,200, and I just pulled my cash. I was like, I don't know what it might do because last time they shut down the market, and they kind of changed the rules in the middle of the fight. So
Exactly.
you know, so I was like, I'm just in and out on this one.
Right. So with what we kind of touched on earlier is that fundamentals aren't necessarily as big of an issue as they were prior to like the GameStop, the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because Bitcoin was really the first of its
kind
to do the shit it did. And a lot of people then got caught in the 2018 drop. I think is when it dropped from 20 to like 2000 or something like that.
I remember like during the pandemic, it had dropped all the way to $4,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, that's where they fucked up. But see, I was paying attention
Mm-hmm.
because even though at that time I was one of the people that got caught in Bitcoin on the way down. And that was when I was learning initially. But it was only like I put like $100 in or something at the top. Though I put it in at like 17K, and then like 2 weeks later it plummeted to whatever the hell. And then I started to see, okay, it's recovering. And I was like, okay. So people not really concerned about it being banned in the United States and other countries and not being regulated or whatever. They're not caring about that. So then at 9,000, I started mentioning it to my closer circle and people I knew. And then 10,000, that's when I was piling on more. And then a little while after that, it shot to 16 and 20, and then
I
kept
think
going.
the thing that scares me with Bitcoin right now is like I believe it's the future. I definitely do support
The thing is
crypto.
that it's very manipulated right now, so it's still just not something that, while I still am invested in it, I'm more so invested in like Ethereum or like the
other cryptos that are used to power different applications.
Yeah. So not even as
like Cardano. Like, are you in Cardano?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of my favorites.
Polymatic.
Cardano, Algo, and then Ethereum too. And Ethereum probably I have the most in my account, and then probably Cardano, and then just Algo because you're getting interest on that. And then I've staked some of my Ethereum because you get interest on that. So it's like, those are my investments, and I know I'm not trading those. So those are just sitting there. So instead of me just not, just having my money in there and it kind of doing whatever,
your money's making money for you.
My money's making money.
I look at crypto as kind of like an alternative to banking because
it is, but at the same time, for me, it's like I'm not gonna. For right now, like how we mentioned that it's still
being manipulated by the government right now.
It's not something that you want to put all your money into. Is you don't want to put your savings account into Bitcoin right now. There's a lot of other things you could do.
I just like the return on the APR you get with crypto because the APR is crazy.
You put your money in your savings account, you make $1 off of this, all the money that you have invested in your savings account, and what you're doing is loaning the bank your money so they can trade it and then make 100% on their return, and then give you your money back, and you get really made a profit. $15 at the end of the year or some shit like that. Yeah. So it's like, well, damn, y'all ain't giving me loans for free. The hell? So in my mind, I feel like not even just crypto, but to even put more money into like the savings account type stuff is to put more of like a savings account into the stock market instead, not necessarily. I would
buy stock.
Exactly. So that's like Nike, Apple, Microsoft, the stocks that you can go back and see over the last 20 years, they've had an increase and the business model has gotten better. And of course, these are all household names. You don't really walk down the street anywhere and not see somebody with a fucking iPhone or a MacBook or something like that.
I had a dude tell me.
And all PCs are using AMD or NVIDIA, type shit. So it's like, you just got to do the research on the companies. You have to figure out, what are you going to invest in? You have to have a plan. What am I investing in? What am I trading? What price am I looking at to get out? What price am I looking at to get in? Where am I looking at cutting if the trade doesn't go my way? Like, you're supposed to be journaling, so that way you can see, like, a lot of people, there are apps out there where it syncs with your like your trades and stuff, and it'll tell you, hey, on Friday you make the most money, or at this time you make the most money.
What's this app called? I ain't never heard of it.
I actually have to go back in one of my
We'll drop it in the comments after we edit this video.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at it, but like that type of stuff is useful. You like if you're gonna do this, you kind of have to treat it as not even just a hobby. It's something you have to be serious about if you want to be successful. It can't just be something you put on the back burner.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, because you can lose $10,000 real quick.
Oh,
and if you can't trade $100, you can't trade $10,000.
Yeah.
I've seen people turn $50 into $14K, and I've seen people turn $50,000 into $100. So
true.
And
so what you being said that I got a friend that he's so skeptical on the market right now because right now we're in a bull market, but
the bull market is the easiest to trade.
It's the easiest to trade, but his thing is with him. You know, so
he's a bear.
Everybody he's not a bear, but like a lot of people are more conservative when it comes to their trading. So you know when you buy a contract, and some people be like, I just want to make $1,000 this week. Some people just want to make $100 a day. He's $100 a day type of guy. So
that's normally a good thing. When I'm teaching people, I'm teaching them that you're not supposed to be in here trying to be the nigga who like, hey, I'm throwing everything in here. I'm trying to make that 10K a day. You should be in here like my goal is to make at least 1% of my account a day. You want to be consistently making gains and compounding them, because $100 a day for 5 days, that's $500 extra a week, right?
Yeah, 500 didn't have.
Right, exactly. But and that's if you're using risk management properly or not. Or you're the person who's looking at GameStop run to $1,000 and you're looking at it while it's at the top like, oh shit, FOMO, and you have a fear of missing out. You got in the top and now you've lost all your money.
Hey, let me ask you this, because I remember when I first started trading on Robinhood, it was more simple than it is now. Like I remember the stop loss was something you could just click on.
Now we have trailing stop loss.
On stop loss?
Yeah, we have trailing stop losses now, which is the ideal stop loss to me, because
now explain stop loss for those just tuning in trying to figure out what a stop loss is.
So stop loss is a big part of risk management. So this is for instance, this is like if the trade is not going my way, like say for instance I get in something at $100 and then it dropped. I'm thinking it's going to go up, but instead it's dropping to 98, 95, 90. It's dropping. It went the opposite way what I thought it was. Yeah. You're going to sit there and bag hold. You're going to sit there and hold all that shit until it gets to zero. Seeing like in options, you can't do that. You can't let something go down like that because as you know, you're losing money as you get closer to the expiration date. Yeah. And even then on the weekly days, you're losing money like hour by hour. The closer you get,
your
like
theta.
Hour by
Somebody
hour.
explain to me your theta in there. You're just decaying.
Theta, delta. Those are things that if you're going to trade options, you have to know about that shit. Because if you don't, then you're going to get fucked every day.
Yeah.
So
if I was buying a contract, if I knew the bare minimum basic essentials about buying a contract, doing trade options, how long would you say I need to like purchase my contract out to?
So for me, what I suggest, especially to people who don't know how to trade or are new to it, and the safest thing to do is to always buy the closest thing to where the price is at, which is at the money or in the money contracts, and to buy at least a month of time.
You say a month?
Yes. Because you can go, there's tools on Google, you can go and look and it'll show you how much the intrinsic value of something decreases. And normally the rate in which the theta starts affecting your contract is like this normally, naturally, and then now we're getting closer to the date and the hill is steeper.
So you're saying like different companies have different thetas?
No. Not theta, not different companies, it's just different expiration dates. But it's as say I bought something today but the contract expires this week. That's less time that I have for it to expire. So the theta is eating it quicker. So whereas before, like I have a month for something to expire and it's going like this, and then it'll slowly start dipping as we get closer to that week it expires. Though if you get something during, like it expires Friday and I got it today, that theta is going like this.
Okay.
It's taking your money quicker.
So for y'all that don't know, when you buy an options contract, there is a theta on there that has how much this contract is decreasing by the day. The rate is decreasing at. So as we talked about before, in previously that each contract is going to have an expiration date. Some of these expiration dates might be, 1 week, 2 weeks, a month out. Some people might go for the long game and drop 10 grand on a contract that's good for the whole year. Um, a lot of people have been very profitable doing that. Like I saw somebody post the other day when they held Tesla all the way throughout the split. Like I don't know how you had diamond hands to do that, but this guy had made $900,000 just holding his Tesla contract, which is like I don't think I understand like people who don't trade how hard it is to hold something for
when
that
you're
amount of
sitting there
time.
looking at your account bleed like that, and then it's like
You just like I
So
think
then
people who do
people
that,
start-
you have to have a lot of money in the bank because I don't believe
no, for sure, because you can't. That's
a regular person can do that.
In that person's instance, that means he was doing the right thing though. He was trading with money he didn't need.
Yeah.
So he had the ability to leave it in there. At the same time, people who are experienced traders know that everything is gonna rebound. I don't care if Bitcoin was up here and it came all the way down.
It's
here.
gonna come back.
Even if it takes the stairs, it's coming back up. Like you just have to be patient. So what I believe the most famous Warren Buffett quote
I know
in
exactly
this
what you're about
shit
to-
is
Go ahead, drop it.
Finish.
So Warren Buffett said the stock market is a tool for transferring money from the patient, from the impatient to the patient.
Exactly.
And that is true because I've I've
think
sold
about
stuff.
how many times that you were sitting there and you're like, okay, it's going down, and you panic sold, and then literally a minute later it started bouncing
It went
up,
up
and
$20. You're like, man, I could have made an extra
Exactly.
$5,000. Like
Exactly. So it's like the thing is though with risk management and in trading in general, there's a lot of different strategies. Like I've done a lot of them, and you have to. For me, what I suggest is even getting to know a lot of them, or even trying a lot of them, and figure out which one works best for you. For me, I'm a bomb ass swing trader. Like I'm gonna make money with swing trades.
you gonna buy? So when you say swing trading, are you buying contracts at the very end of the day, just hoping that it just goes up in the morning?
No, not even necessarily like that. Like for instance, like when I'm looking at stuff, when you're charting, when you're looking to see if something's in a good area to buy or sell, you're looking at higher time frames, because when you're looking at, candles and wicks and stuff on higher time frames, that means that those wicks and those candles and those closes or opens, it means that the price hit those levels a lot more. That means that these are strong supports and these are strong resistances. So it means that the price is more likely to hit these levels. So then now you go in on the smaller time frames and you're like, okay, where are we on that part? So I see the range here. Are we at the top of this range? Are we at the resistance? Or are we at the support? Well, I know that I need to buy at the support or closer to the bottom than buying all the way at the top. Because if it's at the top, it's more than likely coming down. Right? Or even at that, for like how you were talking, because I believe I spoke to you when you were talking about having those puts.
Yeah.
And it's like that prior to, like I said, all the meme stocks and the kind of fundamentals going out the door.
Do you think the market
technical analysis going out the door is kind of like the people who were smart traders or like the smart money? They're like, I don't fucking get this because it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't, because it's like you're looking at this. It's like this shot up. This is up 600%.
Like the game has changed. Like it don't make sense.
Like this is up 600%. But what you have to realize now is that this is up 600% because everybody's watching it. So that's even like with Tesla. People lost billions of dollars. Like they even made memes about, like he even sold shorts because people who were shorting his stock lost billions of dollars. And it was because the stock just had the momentum, and it was overextended for months and months and months. It's already overextended at $700, and then 2 months later it's at $250, and it didn't have a pullback. So it's like that's not normal.
Yeah, it's not normal.
But so the thing is that now the people who are looking at stuff like, oh, this shit shot up a lot, and normally that's how people who were writing puts they would do. They'd be like, this is run up a substantial amount that's not normal, so I'm just gonna start the puts. I'm just gonna start buying puts. And because I know it's going to come back down to like the regular level it broke out at or whatever. And it's like, the stock's like, no, bitch, I'm not.
I'm still moving.
Exactly.
Shopify to this day, I still can't find a ground on it right now because I think this is something I need to just do a long term.
Even I think about the people that had Dogecoin and held. The people who had Dogecoin when Bitcoin did its shit in 2017, there's people that held that this whole time. And those are the people that were millionaires when Elon and Mark Cuban started pumping that hoe.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I had Dogecoin when it was like less than a penny.
exactly.
And when it went to 8 cents, when it went to 8 cents, I thought it was a pumping up. I was like, man, I made my money. I'm getting in and out.
That's kind of like penny stocks.
Yeah, that's the point of a penny stock is,
right.
You waiting for it to just hit a couple cents, you pull your money out of it. And then when Dogecoin went, I think the highest went to 76 cents. I want to say the highest was 76 cents. It went to, and
that was before the SNL. The SNL event.
I think it
when
went
the SNL. I think I got out of 72.
You got out of 72.
I got out of 72 the day before because me being experienced, I know what's gonna happen after that because it's kind of like an earnings play in the stock market.
I'm terrified of earnings.
Yeah, no. So like at the beginning of my trading career, you think that that's what you want. That is the literal definition of gambling because this company could have good numbers, say a whole bunch of shit. And they made a good ass revenue, but then their guidance,
it'll plummet.
The guidance was maybe a little off, and then it'll tank $10. And it's like, what the fuck? This shit did great. Why is it doing?
I think the biggest L I've took last year was BlackRock. I remember the year before BlackRock earnings came out, BlackRock went up $100 overnight, and I said I'll never miss that play again. And so I put every dime I had into BlackRock. I bought as many contracts as I could because I was like, I'm about to cash out. And BlackRock's earnings were phenomenal, and this stock crashed. And I was like, what's going on?
So for me, being somebody who experienced that when I got in, because I thought even what I was hearing, like the experienced trader was like, leave earnings alone. Like I know you see this stuff running substantially, or you think you're missing out and stuff like that, but it's like, don't trade that. And I didn't listen.
But don't hold it overnight.
Didn't listen. Exactly. So it's like for me, you're kind of learning that earnings plays are this really strategy behind it, depending on like who what you understand. So it's like normally the people who kind of like know what they're doing, they know that like with the good companies, these stocks are going to start running before earnings.
Yeah.
On earnings, if the company is already run up past kind of like the valuation, like where it doesn't really make sense anymore, it's going to dump. So then it's like if the company on earnings day is dropping a lot, it's like, okay, people are getting out because they're scared of what could happen after hours. So then you're watching it during the day because intraday is going to hit a bottom, and then it's like, shit, this doesn't make sense because this is a good company and people have sold off so much because they were scary. So now it's like, okay, I know I can get in and hit this little pump real quick because it's gonna pump up.
Gotcha.
And then in after hours it pumps higher because it had good earnings, and it was like everybody during the day was dumping it because they were starting to question it. So it's like you can literally see. When you see the fear coming into the market, that's when you know you need to buy. When you see everybody being bold and there's like when GameStop hit its highest and stuff, everybody was in there with their chest out. I made this much.
Yeah.
A lot of people lost that money. I
know some people killed themselves off all this money they lost.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you, Lala, for coming on the show, dropping some gems about trade options. You've been very informative. Can you go ahead and tell these people your IG name again one more time?
So it's To Be Honest. That's my main page. So this is where you can go and see all the different things that I have going on. I don't want to just give y'all all the pages because you could just go to Be Honest, TOBEONIST. To Be Honest, and no, my name is not Toby. My name is Lala. And yes, you can go on there and you can click the links in my bio and it'll show you all the shit that I gotta know.
Got you. So this is something new I'm doing with my show. I like at the very end of the episode, I like to do hot topics. It's a way for me to like understanding my guests a little bit more, picking their brain. So I'm gonna just ask you 5 random questions that'll be on the screen. I just want you to answer them to the best of your ability. Don't overthink them. Just have fun with it. Right. So question number 1: if you had to give this chapter of your life a title, what would it be?
Damn, shit. The do-over, I guess.
The do-over?
Yeah.
Break that down to me. Like, why you call it do-over?
Like, I've had to start over a few times. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that growing up with generation
Yeah.
or this era, there was a big ass change in how we make money and how we become successful and stuff like that. Our parents, well, for
It
how
was
old I am,
working class.
my parents, my grandparents, it was always go to school, get a good job, work the rest of your life really hard for
Those kids
somebody,
now, I'm a YouTuber.
retire at 65, and then be old and crusty, enjoying the rest of your life. And that's crazy. Okay, right? If you think about it now, we were kind of like one of the first generations to kind of start questioning stuff. It was like, but wait, what? Because like I can go back, not even to dump on that generation, because they didn't know. They weren't taught stuff. Like even still today, we're not taught stocks and real estate and credit and, you know, finance, like the real shit that matters in schools. Neither were they. They were, you know, taught to be workers. So they were trying to pass that on to us. So like initially that's what we were all doing. And for me, once I started to see that, no, like my parents worked really hard all their life. My grandparents worked really hard all their life. They don't really have a lot to show for it. But I've seen, you know, people out here who didn't really do a lot or didn't physically, mentally work,
have to put the work in
and do, you know, struggle the way a lot of other people had to struggle in order to get even to maintain or get by. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So what I did was I became a nurse because I knew that this was a field that had getting out of high school, not high school because I didn't want to do this out of high school.
Yeah.
But once I started to feel like this is what I wanted, nursing is what I wanted to do, or I knew I wanted to have a career and not just be a bartender or waitress, I researched jobs and I was like, shit, well, we'll always need nurses. There's a shortage. There's been a shortage for a minute. So it's like, that's a good job to have, like, if I need a fallback. Yeah. Because I'll always be able to get a job. And at that, it's like, shit, really, literally anytime I've not had a job in nursing, I can get a job the next week. That's how bad they need nurses. So it's like, for me, though, once I got into being a nurse, because I thought, I'm like, I'm in here, I'm about to help people. I'm about to be great, fucking save the world. That was not the case at all. The healthcare system is so fucked up that you have to literally own a hospital or be president of something
really help somebody.
To it really impact even the community. In the Black community and brown community, there's so much shenanigans and nonsense and misinformation and just, you know, foolishness. And it was like, at that, I was like dying every day going to work, taking care of people. And then the next week I see them getting chopped up and stuff, or I'm working in dialysis and I see this man is dying. He's getting his blood pulled out in a machine and cleaned. And his family is over here bringing him Route 44, Dr. Peppers, to Burger King while he's on the machine. So I'm like, not only are you killing this nigga while he's here trying to get help, you're disrespecting me. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's dark. I get off at 7 p.m. at night. That's too much. And I'm in here not wasting my life, but wasting my life in here stressing about saving you and you not even worried about saving you.
Now, getting back to that fact you put out, you said you really couldn't impact change unless you own the hospital or stuff like that.
Because there's so many policies that, like, it doesn't make sense. You could have insurance and then you need this and you need that. You can't get it because, you know, I've seen people with holes in their chest this big, this close to their heart. It's infected. You can smell it before the lady take her shirt off. And you're telling me that this was like this for 4 months before I got here? That's out of control. So it's like seeing stuff like that day in and day out, it's very hard on your spirit. And especially dealing with the sick, and then seeing so many sick people who don't even want to help themselves is really draining on your soul, especially if you're really in tune with, you know, energy and, you know, negative stuff, and the stuff you see every day affects your life. I realized that I was like unhappy during that time or whatever. So then I'm like, now I know this isn't necessarily even what I want to do for the rest of my life, but I know that this is going to help push me to the next level. This is going to help fund what I want to do.
Well said.
So it's like I said, I've hit I've hit rock bottom a few times.
Same.
I went to zero. But the thing for me is I'm willing to risk that. I know how to come back though.
Yeah.
They
They gotta be in you. Everybody can't do that.
I'd rather risk this and have to maybe try to find another way, figure it out, than work for somebody else every day, wake up to an alarm every day, have to live my life based off of what somebody else, somebody else's agenda. Like I'm working for somebody else, for somebody else's dreams, or I'm working to make somebody else money type shit, So
Okay.
that
So second question we're gonna get into is how do you view money and what does it represent to you?
Oh shit. So the crazy thing is that a lot of people probably won't agree with me.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people who is what's the word? I'm not
materialistic. Like what word are you looking for?
But yeah, basically. So it's like I'm not one of those people. I don't need money to be happy, but I know that it makes it easier for me to do whatever I want.
So to you, it's more like a tool.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So it's like I'm one of them people. I could literally be living in an RV, riding around in the country, just living off of whatever.
Yeah, you don't need it. You don't need a lot of extra stuff.
I don't need it, but it's like it makes life easier, but it's not the key to happiness. I've seen you can see a lot of millionaires, a lot of rich people, a lot of entertainers, people they kill themselves.
Yeah.
Like money doesn't necessarily equal happiness. It just makes life a little bit easier to navigate, to
maneuver through. So we get into the third question, which is gonna be like a situational question right here. So third question says, if right now your bank account was to go to zero, what would you do to bounce back? Like what would your mind be at? Like how are you gonna build this back up?
So for me, last time that did happen, I was still working. I was still working. What I did was I started Ubering on top of my job. So then at that, I started as well educating myself. Okay, where did I fuck up? And you got to reevaluate. You got to go back and reassess. So that way you're not just continuously making the same mistakes. And then I don't want to hit 0 8 times and have to bounce back. I'd like to only do it 3 if I could. But so for me, that's what it is. When you hit that 0, you know that you got to grind. For me, for a lot of other people that may be doing some kind of illegal stuff, which is easier. Yeah. But for me, or as a woman, I was using my career. But at the same time, I did the right thing by the career that I chose. And it was a career that, it's easier to bounce back from. So it's like in 3 months, I could still make enough money to where my account is good. I can still pay my bills and stuff. And now at least I'm able to, get on to my next venture or whatever, So for me, that's what I would do first. I don't think at this point now where I am that I could get back to 0. If I did, that would be
impressive.
Right, exactly. I would have to be a talented fool. So, and then I would have to teach classes on being foolish. So, but like I said, it's kind of like you have to realize that shit. If I do fail and I hit 0, I'm going to have to work hard again. But at the same time, even if this is happening in a 10-year time frame, I'd rather that than me be unhappy working and doing the same thing for 40 years.
Okay. And the last question to wrap it up, what is one thing that you know now that seems illegal but is not illegal?
Shit. Seems illegal but is not illegal. Shit. Trading stocks. Trading stocks. And then like when you touched earlier on about how they changed the game while we were.
That was illegal. I don't care what nobody says. That is illegal.
No, it for sure was. And I even got off Robinhood because it's like, as far as like trading and stuff.
Yeah, I went to Webull.
Yeah.
You gotta be a real trader on Webull.
Thinkorswim, Webull, Tastyworks. But it's like Robinhood was just so simple and easier for new traders.
It's like trading for dummies.
Right. It's easier to teach people on Robinhood, but the dynamics on Robinhood, the like the execution and stuff like that is really bad. Because when I first got on Robinhood, it was brand new. So you could literally get in there, buy something, be right, be up 100%, but then not be able to sell your shit at all until it hit zero. And then even if you're in there and you know the tricks, which is to, okay, if this is at, I got in at 0.3 and it shot up to 0.7, I'm going to try to sell at 0.65. Because I still got my profits. I didn't get that, that 0.5, but now I didn't get stuck on the crash
you're not being
down.
able to sell while
exactly.
it's plummeting. Honestly, to me, the best trading platform is probably, to me, Webull.
Mm-hmm.
Webull, but Webull is not for a beginning trader. It's very but it has a lot of analytics.
It has a lot of resources, has a lot of tools.
A lot of resources. Then
Trading
even got
View
a comment list that you can see what other traders are talking about.
Trading View is very good as well for charting and stuff.
Okay. My friend was telling me about that's one thing that I really wanted to make a project to myself to learn how to properly trade.
And what I recommend to all of my the people that I'm teaching and my mentees and stuff, you need to learn how to use the platform first. Because if you can get in and buy a stock, but then you don't know how to sell it, you need to learn, you need to know how it operates first. Because I've literally been in groups and I'm sitting here seeing people, how do I sell it? How do I sell it? It's like, why did you even get in there?
Why did you not?
What are you doing?
You didn't know how to get rid of it.
It's like seeing how crazy people are willing to be with their money. And I'm like, this is so, you guys are being really crazy. So it's with that, yeah, I feel like they know now. It's since people, the hedge funds and the millionaires and stuff like that who were trading before, and now they're like, shit, all these little people, they out here making money off this. Because how trading works is, if you're winning, somebody else is losing.
Somebody's losing. Two pots.
Exactly. So it's if you're winning, the nigga on the other side is lost. And if you're losing, the person on the other side is lost. So it is still a game. It's a game. And you have to be, like chess, you have to be the smarter one.
Be the smartest one.
Yeah. And people don't really look at that. So I try to break it down like that. You don't know that you're on the other side of somebody else.
Okay. Hey, so Lala dropped a lot of gems. She gave a lot of knowledge on trade options. If you guys are interested in, following her content and joining her Discord, you can find her on To Be Honest without the H on Instagram. Hit her link tree, OnlyFans, Discord. It's all a financial platform. If you like the content we put out today, go ahead and press that subscribe button. Go ahead and follow. My @ on Instagram is Pathological Hustler Pod. You can find me on YouTube, though, at Pathological Hustler. You know what it is. Same time next week. We'll be talking about some more stuff, man. Peace out. Happy trading.